Pharaoh said yes. Then he said no. Then something stranger happened. The Bible says God made him say no. 9 times, plague after plague, Pharaoh's resolve cracked. And 9 times, something reached into his chest and hardened it again. Why would God punish a man for a decision he himself sealed shut? For 3,000 years, that question has unsettled readers who thought they understood free will. And it's about to unsettle you too. Picture Egypt at its height. The Nile flooding on schedule, temples to Ra and Osiris rising from the desert floor, and a pharaoh worshipped as a living god. Into that world walks a shepherd named Moses, carrying nothing but a staff and a demand: let my people go. To Pharaoh, this wasn't just insolence. It was a challenge to the entire cosmic order he ruled. The first plagues come, and Pharaoh's own heart does the hardening. The text uses that language plainly. Blood in the Nile, frogs in every bed and oven, lice crawling through the dust of Egypt itself. Each time, Pharaoh watches, wavers, and refuses. This is a man making choices, and Egypt's magicians even nod along, insisting this is only the finger of some god, nothing more. But partway through the story, the language shifts. It's no longer Pharaoh hardening himself. Now it's the Lord hardening Pharaoh. Boils, hail that shreds the fields, locusts stripping Egypt bare. And each time Pharaoh's heart tightens like a fist that refuses to open, even when he's staring at his own ruined kingdom. Here's where it gets genuinely strange for careful readers. The original Hebrew doesn't use one word for harden. It uses 3, chazak, kasha, and kasha, each carrying a slightly different shade of meaning. To strengthen, to make stubborn, to make heavy. Scholars have wrestled for centuries with what that variation means, and there isn't full agreement. But most land in one of 2 camps. The first, this is judicial hardening. Pharaoh chose defiance first, freely, repeatedly, and God's hardening was a confirming judgment, sealing him in the very path he'd already chosen for himself. Not forcing a new decision, but removing his ability to escape the consequences of the old ones. The second view sees something more directly sovereign. That God was actively orchestrating events so that his power would be displayed unmistakably, not just to Egypt, but to Israel and to every generation reading this story since. Exodus itself hints at this second reading directly, when God tells Moses he raised Pharaoh up for this very purpose, so his name would be declared in all the earth. Neither camp claims to fully resolve the tension. That's worth sitting with, rather than rushing past. If you're finding this kind of scripture-first storytelling meaningful, this is exactly the territory mystery to meaning was built for. Taking the questions that make faith feel complicated and walking through them honestly instead of around them. Subscribing costs nothing, and it means you won't miss where we go next. So why does this matter beyond ancient Egypt? Because the hardening of Pharaoh's heart is really a story about what happens when a person keeps refusing truth long enough. Scripture elsewhere warns that a conscience repeatedly ignored doesn't stay neutral, it calcifies. Pharaoh's story becomes a mirror. The danger was never one dramatic moment of rebellion. It was the accumulation of 9 smaller ones, each making the 10th refusal easier and less human. And notice what God never did. He never hardened Pharaoh's heart before Pharaoh had already shown Egypt, and himself, exactly who he was. So by the 10th plague, the death of the firstborn, we're not watching a puppet forced into tragedy. We're watching the final page of a story Pharaoh started writing himself, plague by plague, refusal by refusal, until the ink simply ran out. Maybe that's the real terror of this story. Not that God hardens hearts out of nowhere, but that a heart can harden enough, on its own, that God simply confirms what it's already become. Thank you for walking through this with me. If this gave you a new way to see Exodus, hit like so more people can find it, and subscribe to Mystery to Meaning if you want more of Scripture's hardest questions taken seriously. I'd love to know, do you think Pharaoh ever could have said yes? Tell me in the comments. Until next time, keep seeking the mystery and discover the meaning.